Okay, now we're going to add in some edge loops here, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Now then, what we need to do is make sure we're in edit mode. So we should still be in edit mode after you've extruded, but just to make sure, just look down in the bottom here. You can see there are different modes here. Object mode is the normal kind of object mode, where we can see everything without anything being editable. And edit mode is where we can see all of our different bits and pieces here. So what we want to do is we need to make an edge loop. Now an edge loop will become apparent very soon, but what I'm going to think about first is just where I need to put it. So I'm going to kind of put one across the middle here horizontally. Okay, so Control R. Right, and if we Control R and we go to one of our vertices, face centers at the side or the top, there's a pink line that appears, and this will indicate where the loop cut's going to be. Okay, so I'm gonna press my left mouse button once on the horizontal. Now we go into slide mode. And then I'm going to go to the just kind of top of this ridge here. You see the top of the archway, and press my left mouse button again. Okay, now we have an edge loop. Now if I middle mouse button and round, you can see what it's done. It's done a whole loop here. It's created a complete cut across there, so it's almost kind of like cheese-wired it, which is really good. Despite that, it's still together. It's still, it hasn't cut it in half. It's just added an extra bit that we can alter, that we can play with. One thing that it has brought my attention to is I still have some back faces across the back here, which I don't actually want. I don't want these back faces here, so I'm just going to quickly delete those. So I'm going to Control Tab into face mode, and I'm going to just spin around a little bit, middle mouse button spin round, and then I'm going to right click on this back face here. Now make sure it's the back face, not the front face. Okay. So you might need to shimmy around just to see how the center of the faces move. Okay, so I'm going to right click on this back face here, and then I'm going to right click on this one, and this one. So what I'm looking at is all of these back faces here being selected. And then once I've done that, I'm going to press X and then delete faces. Okay, now I have a hollow back, which is perfect. Okay, so let's jump back into number 1, press number 1 on the keyboard. We've got ourselves a loop cut here, which is great. Next thing I'm going to do is going to add some more in. So let's go in from the left here. So I'm going to go Control R, I'm going to go up to the top here, I'm going to press my mouse button down, left mouse button, so that it's engaged. And I'm going to put this to the edge. There's a little border around these windows. I'll just press left mouse button there, so it's done it. And we can see that there's a border around these windows. Maybe difficult to see. Let me just turn the opacity up a little bit. Here we go. So we can see there's a border around all of these windows, a raised kind of area around the door and around the main archway. So we're going to just kind of put our loop cut, our edge, just at the side of the border. Now the thing with the camera and perspective is that we're not going to get it all right here, so we're just going to have to just kind of trust it that it's going to work. Okay, So we've done that. I need to zoom out. Middle mouse button wheel. Wheel in and out will get you zoomed in and out. Now then, I want to make another loop cut on the other side of here. So let's do that again. Control R. It's pink. Click it once. Move it into position. Click it again. Okay, I'm going to do the same here. Control R. Left mouse button once. Let's move to the side of this window. Okay, press again, and it's done. Control R. Press once. Move it to the side. Press again. It does it. We have an interesting one here because this goes right through the middle of this window. We don't need to worry that these don't line up yet too much. We'll be fixing those in a minute. But we do need to have a think about this here. So I think what we'll do is we'll Control Tab into vertex mode, and then right click this vertex here, and then just move. In fact, no. Let's undo that. Control Z or Command Z on the Mac. Let's box select these two vertices. So we'll go and press B, and then we'll left click and drag around these two vertices so they're both selected, and then we'll do the moving over to the side of the frame there. Okay, so that's kind of sorted that out. Just press Shift and the middle mouse button, and that'll let you have a look around here. So the next one we need to have a look at is the one that goes along the side of this window here. So let's add that in. Control R, and then press the mouse button once, and let's move this into position here. And then when it's in position, press the left mouse button again, and let's also add in another one for the side of the archway here. Okay, so Control R, press mouse button once to the side here, and we need to think about these windows, so let's do the same again. Control R, okay, and I'm looking at the top here. Okay, so that's in line there. Now we've got a little bit of a problem here which we'll need to address, so let's control, in fact we're in vertex mode already, so that's good. Press A, and let's right click this little vertex here, and let's move it across so that we're around about up and down. Okay. Let's just have a look down here. Right click, move across until we're about right. Okay, so now things are starting to take a little bit of shape. Okay, now we've got some horizontal loop cuts that we need to add in, so let's do those. Control R, but this time we're going to shoot across and come over into the left hand side, so make sure it's horizontal, press the mouse button once, and we'll go to the top of where this frame kind of lies, and then we'll do the same thing again. Control R, press once, and then we'll come to the bottom of these windows here. Okay, and then we'll do the same down here. Control R, press once, move to the top, Control R, press once, move to the bottom, press again. Let's watch this ridge here as well. There's a ridge that goes all the way along here and all the way along there. So let's put another loop cut in here. Control R, press once, move into position, press again. Okay, so what we end up with is something that looks a little bit like that. If I press A to deselect. So what it means is that these features we'll be able to extrude these features out, so that they start to resemble kind of relief areas of the front of the building. Okay. Now there's a couple of things worth mentioning at this point. One is that we're using a shot that's been taken in perspective, so we can see there's a huge difference from the face of the building here to the back of the building here, through this window. So we need to just remember that we've got to use our imaginations a little bit here with in terms of where these windows lie. So we use the photograph as a guide, basically. If we were doing this for real, and this was more kind of, it needed to be more precise, then what we would need to be looking at is some blueprints or some plans of some sort that are in 2 dimensions, so that we could work with them to exact measurements. Okay, so don't worry that things don't quite fit, they're just guides at the moment. All right.